Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Europa Universalis IV with me, Alfapiomega, Meiou and Taxes, Historical Immersion and Bohemia. The year is 1701 and I'm back with the next technology, which is called Royal Absolutism level 35. So, Royal Absolutism in 1643, oh my god, we are so behind. In 1643, the young King Louis XIV came to the throne in France. Armed with the advice of his counselors, he began to concentrate power in himself and found ways to increase royal power at the expense of the aristocracy. By 1655, King Louis was able to utter his famous words, "L'État est moi," which means the state is me. In 1651, Thomas Hobbes published The Leviathan, a book which suggests that civil war and violence could only be avoided by giving power to an absolute monarch such as Louis. Soon, rulers across Europe were following his example. Bonus effects? None, but the next one will give us extra states and a new idea group. As was mentioned before, as we have a crafty merchant, I would be interested in getting the trade ideas, which are generally considered very good. What happened between this and last episode? Well, we got two fleets. We got a first fleet, which is composed of one frigate-built ship called Sharka, and we got one fleet down here, the second fleet, which is called Stirat. It's kind of funny because Stirat and Sharka come from a very old Czech myth. So I was wondering what the names would be. Anyway, we're gonna rename this to the Northern Fleet, and we're gonna rename the Southern one to the Mediterranean Fleet. And oh my god, I always misspell that. Is there way how to see the Mediterranean? Ionian coast. There could be a nice little no. God damn it. I never know how many R's there are. Libyan Sea. Oh, here it was. Mediterranean. So there are two R's. Mediterranean Fleet. Awesome. So we got the Northern Fleet and we got the Mediterranean Fleet. Actually, I'm going to put a capital F there. Furthermore, I managed to persuade Nuremberg to vassalize. So they are now our vassal and we are back to 13 diplomatic relations, which is kind of cool. I got into a discussion recently with one of my subscribers, Hasgedacht, about destroying Austria. I found out at this point that I am over 20 episodes ahead of you guys, so this is going to be kind of funny when you see this. But, Hasgedacht, the reason why I haven't done that yet is because we have a pretty cool relation with them, and there's really not much that we could get from them. When you look at their development, the most developed province is Krainska, which has no urban population. It has quite a lot of farming going on, but there's lack of natural harbor. There's nothing really that we could do. And then they got their capital, which has a meager 7 urban development. I think most of our provinces have 7 development. Yeah, so fighting them, and you know, it's beyond the Emperor. We kind of also notice that there's a special little port here. Ah, I never noticed that. Fiume. It has no bonus though, which is kind of sad, but you know, this would be a kind of nice province. And this is also nice. My original plan was actually to force Austria to vassalize. If I declared war on them at this point, at any moment, I would probably go for that goal. But I don't think that's even possible. Honestly, what's standing between us and them is they hate us, and that we own their core provinces and the fact that they are an elector. So we really would need to just downright demolish them. And we still do have one core province of theirs, which is Ostmark. And this one just converts very slowly, so it's maybe not gonna even happen until the end of the game. Okay, anyway, let's go with depot system. Depot system. With an increased demand for gunpowders, larger armies needed depots of gunpowder to fight longer campaigns. Placed strategically throughout the nation, they allowed modern armies to fight long campaigns. So extra military tactics and extra artillery fire .2, which actually makes the guns way more deadly. I think I spoke about this when we fought the Turks, that we got offensive fire of 6 and defensive of 3. So it gives us 1/3 extra offensive fire and almost 80%, almost 70% of our defensive fire. Hey, better centralization! Wow, I haven't seen this one in a while. I completely forgot that these events were there. Hey, and we have 5 cardinals now. Awesome. Spain is the Curia controller. I decided I'm just gonna, get the papal influence as high as possible, and then when we want the Pope, we're just gonna dump it all there. So what's in store for Bohemia right now? Not much. I started developing the provinces a bit again. We're building a commune hall in Paso, spreading the Bohemian center. We're working on a workshop in Kolosh, which is starting to become a nice province. So if we invest a bit more in it, I'm building a fort here and the workshop, which is going to give quite a lot of extra urban gravity. So I think it could go somewhere like 50,000 maybe. And I'm also building a shipyard down here in Dalmatia, because we need more ships. Who does not need more ships? We also want to develop this province, but it's kind of locked because we have a recent construction here. Okay, and how's Stettin doing? Stettin could be developed. Not with the corporation guild though. We don't have enough urban people living there. The gravity is insane right now. I think I might want to build the city or the shipyard. Let's build the shipyard. We need to get more ships out there. We got a limit of 9. We're building very slowly, but the shipyards will make it so that we start building faster. I think it gives 35% bonus. So if we get to the shipyards built, the time will decrease significantly. Oh, and we got a bit of unrest. Well, I don't mind that. I'm also preparing, I did not forget about building more cavalry, because I would like this mission finished, to modernize the army. We still need a 3-star general, which we don't, but... One of our generals got a maneuver of 5, which is great, but he also has 0 fire and only 2 shock. So good job on that, but, it's just not gonna go that well. So let's wish our King Zygmunt I Kinski a lot of health, and I'll do a magical skip ahead and we'll see what's going to happen in the future. Well, I wasn't expecting the next entry to be on the 1st April 1706 when we actually get the scientific journals, but hey, here we are, so let's do this thing. Scientific journals. In 1665, the world's first scientific journal was published, the Philosophical Transactions of the Royal Society in England and the French journal The Savants both began systematically publishing research results. This helped to spread scientific advances and encourage scientists to build upon the work others had done, rapidly advancing science in both countries. So we get a new state and a new idea group. Yes, we have way more states. Okay, so Hinterpommern is the one most populous, and then I guess Northern Saxony or Mecklenburg. I guess Mecklenburg, that doesn't really matter, we get 1 province in each. Okay, so as our king is a crafty merchant, I'm happy to say that we can go ahead and take the trade ideas, which I think will benefit us in the long run. So the trade ideas, even though they take away the piety, will give us national trade policy, which will increase trade efficiency by 10%, global trade power by 10%, will come from shrewd commerce practice, then merchant adventures increases trade range, and the ship trade power propagation. What's this? Increase our innovativeness. Okay. Trade manipulations will increase provincial trade modifier by 10%. Additional merchants, extra 1 merchant. Global trade power, extra 5%. And then extra merchant again. Which is great and will hopefully improve our situation quite drastically. Because we really just got, what, 2 merchants right now? 3 merchants. But there are places where we really have a lot of trade power, like Hansa and the Adriatic Sea and the Rhineland. Wait, 2 or 3 merchants will be had. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so be able to send merchants to Hansa, Adriatic Sea, and Rhineland to better, spread our network. I'd also like to mention that we now have way more ships. We've been continuously building them, which, for example, in the Adriatic Sea is greatly helping with our trade situation. And I've been developing the provinces quite extensively as well. So, for example, in Stettin, we now have an urban gravity of 82,000 while only having 40,000 people living there. And in Dalmatia, we got urban gravity of 20,000 while having 10,000 population. And in Spalatro, we got 10,000 people and urban gravity of 16,000. Yet, oh, I can build the cathedral here. Okay, I've been spending money like crazy, honestly. So it's really something. One more thing that's really important for you guys is that we are now annexing Meissen. We are about halfway through, and in 3 years, Meissen will be annexed. That's kind of important because, honestly, this is going to boost us to heaven. Their provinces are very valuable, especially Meissen itself, which has 37 urban development, and Chemnitz, which has quite a lot of rural population. The rest is a bit trash, but it doesn't matter. It's going to enlarge our borders and protect our capital. Then we can just go ahead with annexing Bayern, Ingolstadt, and Nuremberg, and we'll have quite a lot of buffer here as well. Plus, remember, we're also after Thuringia. Furthermore, we are now allied with Persia. The relations are strained. It's not fun, honestly. We're at 61. We don't have much to say about it. I guess I'm gonna dedicate a diplomat just to them. But this is a strategic alliance, simply because the Ottomans have grown quite big, and we are planning to attack France in the future. And I just can't have Ottomans invading, because, I mean, Poland would help, but having Persia here means that Ottomans would be pretty much surrounded on all sides. If I could, I'd also... Oh wow, I could ally with Trebizond. Okay, well that would that would cripple my relations by 2 points each month. But having those guys as well, attacking the Ottomans later would mean complete destruction of them. So that's something to think about. In France itself, we're not gonna drag these guys like Persia into the war, but the rest would be nice. Wow, Poland is 1,344 in debt. They were actually almost 3,000 in debt. I don't know what happened to them, but they're repaying it now. That's good. We're drilling like crazy. We get now army professionalism of 60.2%. And as you can see, we are slightly over our landforce limit, but I'm okay with that. We got more cannons, so all of our secondary units have 8,000 cannons now, while our main army has 10,000. Where's the unlawful territory? Savoy, what are you doing? Release them right now. Which allows us to get the mission here to modernize the army, but we still need a 3-star general, which we actually don't have. I don't know how to figure out if he's a 3-star or not. It doesn't show anywhere. I think Matthias Zaitz is the closest to that. He would need... I think a 3-star general would need at least 12 stars. That would be my guess. They're getting, some experience here and there. It's kind of nice. But our army tradition is really abysmal. If we just I mean, activated all the forts, we would still get a penalty, right? For the main. Come on, recalculate. How many freaking forts would I need? Okay, to speed it up. By the way, the fact that we are annexing Meissen means that we are not getting any ideas done anytime soon. But I think you guys already understand that. Yeah, that's not worth it. It's not worth it. Let's just keep Banat up and Toronto up. Kind of interestingly, Banat is now our core, which means that I am converting it. It's the only province in our entire empire that's not Christian. Or Christian, I mean Catholic. But when we get Meissen annexed, we're gonna get quite a lot of extra provinces that will have issues. Oh, and we got our missionaries back, so let's send out these guys again to convert the untrustworthy. Send missionaries to our subjects. Convert heretic peacefully. Convert Protestants. Wait, that's forcing them. Here it is. Reform Christians. I'm gonna maintain you there, honestly. Oh, we just got Reform Christians. We got rid of the Protestants completely. That's nice. The Jesuits are doing their job. Wait, how many do we have left now? 0. Okay. Do we still have you here? Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1. Okay, so that's awesome. We got 6 and 1. Good. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I can say for now. I'm just going to continue doing this stuff more. I'm maybe going to save up a bit of money for our capital, though. I think building the bank is worth our time. Oh, you can build in... I thought we needed to finish the trade ideas, but as it turns out, it's enough to just have them. We have entered the Age of Enlightenment. It's the Age of Reason. Great progress is made in scientific and economic fields. The ideal of beauty is sought at classical antiquity, and rulers undertake all sorts of reforms supported by proficient ministers. So let's see what we get here. Great minds have 3 level 2 or level 3 advisors. Okay. Land reforms. Every core province with at least 10 development. Okay. Own 60 light chips. We don't have that. Enlightened ruler. Ruler is a free thinker, scholar, or at least free skill level. We actually gonna have free thinker next, so that's pretty cool. Early imperialism span across 5 continents. Scientific revolution have the highest world level at 1 technology. Okay, so that does not work. And early industrialization, own at least 5 manufactories. I don't think that we own a single one because manufacturing are very expensive. Schwarzburg has been placed under interdict. However, we continue with the annexation of Meissen, and for some reason the score necessary is just jumping up. We have been at one point at 95%, yet now we are back at 87%. Because the demand or the necessary cost jumped to 2,054. That's unreasonable in my book. Anyway, we can start building the bank here, which will give us local trade power plus 20%, base urban gravity 1, urban gravity modifier 25%, which is awesome. It's gonna give us, wow, well over 30,000 people plus the one. It's additional 5,000, so roughly 40,000 or more urban gravity. Local production efficiency will be increased by 10%, which is also really good. Tax income and trade value increased by base 1, so that's just great. I have been neglecting the province development for a bit now because, you know, we need to build what we need to build. But I have given an order to build a road in Paso, or in Pasov, because it's Bohemian. And we might want to upgrade the roads now here that we had from Pest. So Heves, Jula, and Bihar needs to upgrade the roads. So how are you guys capable of that? Oh yes, you are. Oh, but that costs diplomatic power, so I need to wait. I want to finish the annexation as fast as possible because this is a bit tiresome and we're not getting near as much as we could. Yeah, 7. The national focus. Diplomatic relations are screwing us up, but not greatly, you know. Persia, however, is still... Oh, the relations are a bit strained. Let's proclaim a guarantee on them. And I think we might... Yeah, we're gonna exchange the military access so that the relations are bumped even higher. Well, I'm gonna end this episode on the note of technology because we still have that unspread manufactories institution, and wow, France already embraced it, Castile embraced it. Ottomans didn't, but almost all of Italy did. Pretty much almost all of the world did. And Enlightenment is just spreading in India right now. That kind of sucks, but what can you do? Well, we need the manufacturers as fast as possible, but you know, paying 4,500 for it? Come on. What was it? It's spreading fairly slowly. I don't see any provinces. Well, you got the 81%, you got 81%, you got 77, 84. Yeah, it's spreading, but it's not fast. And the cost for the provinces is extreme. Anyway, this is all for this episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully, I'm gonna start recording when the annexation is done. But you can see that it climbed up higher even now. It was 1054, now it's 1061. Come on, game. We need to get them.